What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily Rewind episode 5. This is my show where I rewind all the news that I talked about from the previous week. So this week, it's July 2nd through July 8th. If you missed any of those shows, you can always rewatch them individually. But what I do with this one is I put them all into one episode so that you can watch them. It ends up being like a 20-plus minute episode. So watch it, check it out. But anyways, we're still in Galaxy Note 9 season, or Note season, whatever you want to call it. So we had a ton of news on the Galaxy Note 9, so I definitely recommend checking it out if you're into the Note 9. Other than that, guys, check this video out. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace. First story of the day is about the OnePlus 6. They are coming out with their red color. It is now official. They have announced it'll be available July 10th in India, July 16th everywhere else. It's going to be the same price as their other OnePlus 6 devices. This version's only going to come in 128 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. So if you needed more storage, you're out of luck. This is going to be that version right there. And again, available July 16th for sale everywhere. Next up, we have DirecTV now. They're increasing their prices by $5 on every single tier. So if you have the $35 tier, it's going to go up to $40 and so on and so forth. They just said, we've been adding so many features, we've been giving them to you for free. Why not make the price $5 more, basically? It probably honestly has something to do with AT&T merging with Time Warner is my guess, and they obviously are billions of dollars in debt from that merger, and they need to cut costs, obviously, to bring that thing down. So this is most likely why this route of this pricing increase is coming. But again, only $5, and if you love DirecTV now, $5 shouldn't hurt you too bad. Next up, benchmarks have leaked for Apple's new processor, the A12. A11 versus the A12 is only a 10% increase in performance. So if you're expecting huge leaps and bounds in performance, you're most likely not going to get it. Also, the other interesting about this is that on the Geekbench benchmark, it had 4 gigabytes of RAM. Last year's phones had 3 gigabytes of RAM. So what you're looking at is with the iPhone X, we'll just call them X, iPhone X 2018 and the bigger iPhone X Plus, you're looking at those phones getting 4 gigabytes of RAM, and then their middle of the road phone, which would be the iPhone whatever X 6.1 2018, which has an LCD display, will most likely only have 3 gigabytes of RAM. You really don't need it. iPhone is pretty buttery smooth with just 3 gigabytes of RAM, but adding the 4 obviously will help. It's definitely not going to hurt. Yeah, you're looking at that phone most likely coming out in September of this year. Next up, if you're in the market for buying a Galaxy S9, S9 Plus, or Galaxy Note 8, you have until July 31st. If you buy that phone through Samsung, you will get a free 256 gigabyte micro SD card that you can do whatever you want with. If I was you, I would just throw it inside of the phone. It gives you more storage to save your photos and your videos and your games and really almost anything that you want. You can move apps over it. Not all apps, but a lot of apps you can move over to it, and it's a really great thing to have. And you basically, at that point, you don't have unlimited storage, but you have a lot of storage before you're probably ever going to need to have to get another card or erase things like that. So if you're in the market to buy a Galaxy S9, S9 Plus, or a Note 8, they have that promo going on. And the last story of the day is about the Galaxy Tab S4. We have what looks like some official renders that have leaked out from Android headlines. They have a source, they said, that said this is the exact way that this tablet will look. And before we jump into the look of it and some details about the device, it's looking like it's going to have a Snapdragon 835, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage. The battery will be 7,300 milliamps. Also, it'll run Android 8.1 and also 13 megapixel camera on the back and an 8 megapixel on the front. Now let's talk about the design. Let's start off on the back of this device. You can see the camera and then the flash just below that. At the bottom, you can see Samsung, and then to the right of that, tuned by AKG, because they're going to have multiple speakers on this device. They should have 4 speakers like they did on the S3 tablet. On the left-hand side of the tablet, you can see the power button and the volume up and down. It does not look like there's a dedicated Bixby button, at least from what I can see. On the front of the tablet, you can see there's no physical buttons. There's also no fingerprint sensor on this, which is very interesting. The other thing to keep in mind is that this tablet most likely will have a 16 9:10 aspect ratio rather than a 4:3 is what you get with their last couple tablets and with the iPad. The way those look. So this should be back to slightly widescreen format. So let's talk about that fingerprint sensor not being there. This could be the first device with an under the display fingerprint sensor on a Samsung device. This would be very cool and it'd be great to try out. And I'm not looking to get a tablet, but if that has it, it might be a reason why I need to get it, just to test it out and do some videos on it. But very interesting and very telling. First story of the day is about the Galaxy Note 9 and the S Pen. The S Pen has passed through the FCC as of today, and Bluetooth is confirmed inside of the pen. This is a pretty big deal. This is the first time Bluetooth has been in the S Pen, and it gives way to a whole bunch of features that could possibly come out with this pen, and allowing it to do everything from taking pictures to gaming to one of the biggest things, and I actually did a video on this today. Check out this video if you haven't already. I put out multiple features that this S Pen could have if it has Bluetooth in it, and the biggest feature it could have at all is digital writing. Basically, it could take notes with just the S Pen detached from the phone and then send those notes to the S Pen. It's a game changer. It's going to make people want this phone that didn't want it previously, that are into the S Pen. It's going to be huge. So that's what we're looking at. It's been confirmed, and it just happened today. And the last story of the day is about the Galaxy Note 9. It passed through Geekbench's website with some scores and some confirmed specs on this device. So it looks like it's going to have 6 gigabytes of RAM, like we've been thinking it would, at least on the low end of this phone. And this Note 8 had 6 gigabytes of RAM last year, so that's really no big surprise. We also are expecting it to have 8 gigabytes of RAM, at least in some parts of the world. And also it's running Android 8.1. And the scores for it were 3716 on the single core and 8984 on the multi-core. It should also have a Snapdragon 845 along with a 4000 milliamp battery. How is everyone doing? Happy July 4th here in America. It's our Independence Day, so happy birthday, America. Rock on. And so we don't have a lot of news today because it basically, at least all the American companies are closed today. So only got one story today, and it is about the Galaxy Note 9. And it looks like companies, or one company anyway, Elixir, is already up for pre-order Galaxy Note 9 cases. So if you wanted to pick up a Galaxy Note 9 case or tempered glass, you now can. And taking a look at these cases, they do a couple of things for us. They show us that the design that we have been seeing for this Galaxy Note 9 matches up with what these cases are giving us. You can see on the back, you get the 2 cameras, the flash, and then you get the fingerprint sensor below that with the Samsung logo. And that's pretty much it. And these look like they are just clear cases so far with what they have for photos, and some colored photos, some colored cases as well. But generally, you know, it's the same basic design that we've been expecting. And then on the front, it's more of the same, some small bezels at the top and at the bottom. And then you can also see this tempered glass case, and you have all the cutouts for the sensors and speaker and all that stuff at the top. And again, more of the same what we've been expecting. But it's very cool that you can pre-order this now, and if you want to, you can do that at the link in the description. The first story of the day is about the iPhone X 2018, and as you know, they're coming out with 2 versions, well, 3 versions actually, 6.5, 6.1, and 5.8, and we're actually getting some leaked colors for the 6.5 and the 6.1. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo said the following: "We expect the demands for the new 6.5 OLED iPhone to be better than the iPhone X of 2017 because of similar or lower price but with a larger display. Dual SIM, dual standby, and 3 possible casing colors. Black, which will be space gray, white, which will be that kind of gray color, and gold." And then he also said the new 6.1 LCD iPhone, which will be coming out in 2018, is expected to boost better replacement demands than the iPhone 8S did due to being equipped with full screen, Face ID, selling price lower than $700, dual standby, and 5 possible casing colors: gray, white, blue, red, and orange. And then to add on to that, OnLeaks added 2 additional colors that are still in the running, and those are yellow and pink. So there you go, lots of colors coming out seemingly for the new iPhones. Obviously that's going to make it sell probably even better. I know people like choice, especially with some of those colors. I would not do yellow. Obviously pink will probably do amazing if it's still in the running by the time that happens. And then you get all your classic colors as well, but tons of colors, even blue. I think blue, I can't remember the last time they did a blue phone, maybe the iPhone 5S, whatever that was. But anyways, guys, those are your colors for the new iPhone 2018. Next up, the support pages for the Galaxy Note 9 have gone up already in some countries like France, Finland, Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. And even if you don't speak one of those languages like I don't, you can just open it up with Google Chrome, translate the page, and you're able to read a couple of things on there. There's not that much on there, but what is on there allows you to see certain things like transferring your data, how to do smart switch, just all that kind of stuff. So it's not, if you're just like 5 topics that you can go through, not a whole ton of stuff, but it's kind of cool that they're already, without even announcing officially, that the Galaxy Note 9 is going to be coming out very soon, obviously because these support pages are up. And the last story of the day is about the Galaxy S10 and Galaxy X. Now, the Galaxy X is going to be Samsung's foldable phone that you'll be able to fold. It'll have a 7-inch screen when it fully opens, and then when it's fully closed, you get a 3.5-inch screen. And the Galaxy S10 will be the completely redesigned Galaxy phone that a lot of people have been waiting, with a lot of cool features inside of that phone that will be supposedly just a lot different than what we've been getting in the last couple of years with the Galaxy line. So let's talk about the release dates that Ice Universe is saying for these phones, or at least launch dates. Launch dates, he's saying for the Galaxy X, which would be the foldable phone, he's saying they're going to announce that at CES. CES is January 2019, and it's usually at the first or second week of January. So he's saying they're going to announce it at CES, and this would be kind of rare. I can't think of the last time they announced a flagship phone at CES. They usually do it at WWDC or one of their own private events. So that's what we're looking at, is January 2019. And then if I had to guess, if they're going to announce it, then I would have to guess that the phone would probably be out a few weeks after that. Probably still in January, maybe early February, since it's kind of like a phone that's, a first-time thing for them to be all foldable. The Galaxy S10 is saying will be announced at WWDC, which falls in line with the other Galaxy S phones, S9, S8, S7. They've all been announced at WWDC, and generally when those phones go out and they're announced there, they're usually out 2 or 3 weeks later, which ends up being usually in March, early March, mid-March at that point. So you're looking at the Galaxy X coming out probably first, and then the Galaxy S10 after that. So you're probably still going to buy the S10 just because the Galaxy S is rumored to be $1,800. The first story of the day is about Samsung's new smartwatch that'll be out very soon, probably the same time the Galaxy Note 9 is out as well, which will be, August, September of this year. And we've been hearing about this watch a lot. It started off as the Gear S4, which is normal because the other Gear watches have been Gear S1, 2, 3, and now they were supposed to be called Gear S4. Then we heard it's going to be called Galaxy Watch, and it's going to run Wear OS, and then we heard it's not going to be called that. It's going to be Gear S4, and it's going to run Tizen, which is what they've been running for the last few years, and it's going back the other way again, guys. This is no joke. So Ice Universe put out the following tweet about Gear S4, probably called Galaxy Watch, based on Android Wear, 470 milliamp battery, PLP package. It's expected to have new UX, interaction, and blood pressure measurement. Now, I think the biggest takeaway from this is that the Galaxy Watch, if it's called the Galaxy Watch, is going to run Wear OS, which it has not run. The Samsung Watch hasn't run vanilla Android operating software for a really long time, years. My first smartwatch was actually a Samsung Watch, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that ran some kind of Android software, not Tizen. So kind of interesting to see. As time goes on, we're going to see if this comes out to be true or not. Ice Universe has been right in the past. The person that's going against him is another leaker, and he's saying it's not going to. And I mean, again, we'll see what happens. I personally want it to run this just because I think it's, I don't know, I think it's more fluid in terms of the way you use it. It's easier to use. I like Android Wear OS better than Tizen software that they run on the previous Gear watches. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Next up, the latest rumor about the Galaxy S10. As you know, or at least if you've been following my channel, there's going to be 3 versions of the phone. It'll be like a low-end one, kind of one in the middle, and then they'll have the upper-end one that has basically everything. And let's talk about the lower-end one first. It's supposed to only have one camera on the back, and it's supposed to have a flat display, not the curved display that we've been seeing for years, and the screen should be 5.8 inches. Well, the most interesting thing that's come out about this, at least on the low-end phone, is that the fingerprint sensor, it's not going to be underneath the display like it should be on the other 2 versions. It's going to be on the side of the phone, probably either it'll be on the power button itself, so you'll press that power button and it'll unlock it, or it'll be slightly below it on the frame of the phone, but it won't be on the back, won't be at the bottom, won't be in the on the screen. It's going to be on the side of the phone, on the frame, or built into that power button. So that's the newest thing that's been coming out about the Galaxy S10. The other thing we're hearing about the Galaxy S10, and this should be on the middle of the road phone, which would be the 5.8 inch curved display with 2 cameras on the back, and also the upper end model, which will be a 6.4 inch model with 3 cameras on the back, and again a 6.4 inch curved display. Those 2 phones, the second and the third best ones, should have a wide angle lens, and which is a pretty big deal because this is actually what I've been wanting for a while. It's in the LG phones. You're looking at the wide angle lens being about 123 degrees, whereas in the LG phones it's 125. So it's a little less, but it's still going to be capture a lot more of the picture that you want, almost like a GoPro, not as much as that, but almost that much, and I think that's great. You'll still get the telephoto lens in the upper end model, but you won't get it in the middle of the road one. So a lot of interesting stuff coming out about the Galaxy S10, and the S10 should be announced and released in February or March of 2019, which is just around the corner. Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about the Galaxy S9 Plus. If you remember, we had sales data, this is probably I don't know, a month ago maybe we talked about this, but in April, Galaxy S9 Plus was the best-selling phone basically in the whole entire world. And now we have the sales data from May, and it's already fell out of first place, and it's now second place. First place, get this, is the iPhone 8, not the iPhone 8 Plus, the iPhone 8. It's the best-selling phone in the world right now. It's very close with the iPhone 8 and the Galaxy S9 Plus, but it's super funny, I think, that a phone that hasn't had a new design and a phone that doesn't have any really new features, if you want to call that, since, for years now, is the #1 selling phone. It's better selling than the Galaxy S9 Plus. It's better selling than the iPhone X, and it's better selling than the iPhone 8 Plus. I would have thought that phone would have been a better seller, but people like small phones, it looks like, and they want, the same thing that they're always used to. The iPhone 8 gives that to them. And the last story of the day, if you're looking to buy a Galaxy S9, not the S9 Plus version, but the S9, you can get one for a really good deal on eBay right now for $579. It's the unlocked version. You can get it, and it has the Snapdragon 845 in there, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, and for $575. Free shipping, no tax, most likely, depending upon where you live, and you get it shipped right to your door. So if you want to pick that one up, I will link it in the description down below if you're looking to get a Galaxy S9. Again, it's the smaller 5.8 version. Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about Google Store. Google Store has a big sale going on, and some of those products that they have on sale are pretty big discounts, such as the Google Pixel 2 XL for $100 off, making it $749. They have their Clips camera for $169. That's $80 off. If you're looking for a smart speaker, you can get the Google Home Mini for $34 now. It's a pretty good deal. Google Home Max, if you want to buy 2 of those, these are expensive, $648. It's $150 off though. It's a pretty good deal. Google Home, 1 for $99, which is $30 off, or 2 for $158, which equals $100 off. And then Daydream View is $49. Chromecast Ultra 54, and the Chromecast Audio 25. So if you're looking to get some Google products, head over to their store. I'll link it down below and get yourself a deal on one of their products. I have multiples of those products. Me and my wife both have Google Pixels, the Google Homes. We have all throughout the house to use them for all kinds of different things, from playing music to using the broadcasting system, to just getting facts about things. They're great to have. So many good products that Google puts out that you might want or might want to look to get for somebody for their birthday, so check those out. Other than that, guys, I really don't have any other news. Sundays are sometimes a slow news day, and today was definitely a slow news day. So instead of giving you another story or just ending it right here, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you my setup on my Galaxy S9 Plus for my. There's a problem. Oh, he's getting involved in my video show. I'll give you my setup of my quick panel on my Galaxy S9 Plus. So just to run through my quick panel when I swipe down, what I have here, hopefully you can see that. I have my Wi-Fi network, I have mute, Bluetooth, auto update, and my flashlight, and then I have airplane mode. Well, actually, let's talk about this. Definitely, the first row is basically what I use all the time. I use these a fair amount of time. Like Wi-Fi, I'm always turning on and off, especially sometimes when I'm walking the dogs. The Wi-Fi stays connected and kind of gets in the way. And then as for mute, I'm always muting my phone. I almost always have it on mute. Bluetooth, I generally leave on. Auto update, auto rotate, I should say. I have that, dependent upon it. Sometimes at night when I don't feel like having to rotate my phone for whatever reason, I'll turn that off. And then otherwise, flashlight I do use as well. And then the other stuff I use very rare, but sometimes I do use it. Airplane mode if I'm gonna go on a flight. Power saving mode, never. Mobile data, I don't ever turn that off generally. High performance mode is always on. Blue light filter, I have it set to turn on certain hours. Mobile hotspot, I don't have it on my plan, so I do not use it. What else do we got here? Secure folder I don't use. Location, NFC, and always on. Again, I don't really use those, but I have them on there, and that's my setup for my quick panel, guys. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every single day. My question out to you guys is, what are the first couple rows that you have set up on your quick panel? Which things do you have there? Let me know in the comments down below. You saw mine, and now I'm going to see you guys down the road. Peace.